Hi everyone. Thought I would do a short video on how to read a court citation, and I've keyed this, tried to tie this in or key this to your assignment that's on the course that's out of Chapter 4. It's the Reading Court Citations worksheet. So let's take a look at that. Here are the basics. And actually, this is from your worksheet, so I'm gonna use some examples from your worksheet, and then you can continue the rest of the worksheet, and then turn it in. All right, this first case, Cluck versus Sheets. You'll notice the title of the case is whenever we do a citation, and this is called a citation. We always underline the short title of the case. Now, you'll notice that with each citation, there is at least one block of information consisting of numbers, letters, and then some numbers. So each of these citation, this will be one cite, and this will be another citation or another cite. They are referencing where in the law library you can find that particular case. So the way you read it is this, and once again, it's got each cite has three components to it. Some numbers, in this case it's 141, some letters, TEX, and then some more numbers. In this case it's 219. This is the official citation to this case, and you read it as the first set of numbers is the volume. Volume 141 of what? Well, of the reporter, the set of books that you would look to in the library, in the paper library, where you would locate this book and set of books. And in this case, it's abbreviated TEX, and that is the Texas Reporter, or Texas Reports, rather. And that is no longer published. It was published, I think, up until about 1923. That's trivia you don't have to worry about. But it is the official reporter for decisions from the Texas Supreme Court. No other court is going to be in the Texas reports. And then you'll see another citation, 171 SW2, Southwest, Y2D, second series. And I'll get into that for a second in a moment. But this name of the reporter is the Southwestern Reporter, second series, page 860. So this case, Cluck versus Sheets, you could actually find it two different places in the law library. And on your worksheet, I ask you, I give you that citation, and I say, well, give me the official reporter. Well, as I just explained, this first one is going to be the official reporter. And what is the name of that reporter? Texas Reports. Your worksheet says non-West. In other words, West Publishing Company, and now Thomson Reuters, is the biggest law book publishing company in the world, I suppose. And they have a whole series of interconnecting reporters that cover the entire United States. And the Southwestern Reporter is one of those. Now, whenever you have an official reporter, like we do in this case, it's going to be always listed first. But you don't always have an official reporter, and you'll see an example of that here in this next one, Simmons versus State. It's also a Texas case. How do we know it's Texas? Well, notice it doesn't say Texas Reports, so we don't have that to go on. But it says in parentheses, Texas Criminal Appeals, which is the definition for Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. Why don't we have that Texas Supreme Court in parentheses up here? Well, we already know it's the Texas Supreme Court because that's the only thing that's in Texas Reports. Okay? But we do have the year, 1943, and I question whether that's correct because because of the information I gave you earlier about when Texas Reports ceased publishing. But anyway, you have the year in the parentheses. Down here, we also have the year of the opinion in parentheses, but along with the court, because we don't have otherwise a clue of what court was issuing that decision, okay? A lot of moving parts here, but once you fall into it, you'll start recognizing it pretty quickly. So, Cluck versus Sheets, you can find that in two different places in the law library. Assuming the law library has Texas reports, and assuming, which they almost always will in Texas, have the Southwestern Reporter second series. Now, why second series? Well, the first series, the original Southwestern Reporter, went from volume 1 all the way to 300. And for some reason, they said, no, let's not have a volume 301. Let's just start numbering again with volume 1. How do you distinguish the first volume 1 from the second volume 1? Well, series. So this is the second set of Southwestern Reporter, second series. We are now, at the making of this video, we are now in the third series of the Southwestern Reporter. Okay. Let's look at some of these others. Schaefer versus Heitner, 433 US 186, 97 South S period CT period 2569, 53 LED second 683. What's all that about? Well, after you do your reading, you will recognize that US is the abbreviation for US reports. And the only thing that's in the US reports is decisions of the US Supreme Court. This, since it's in the number 1 position, it's what? The official. The second, everything else after that is going to be unofficial. And the second one, the second site, if there is more than one, will likely be the West Reporter. And so once again, there'll be there'll be a list in your book or other resources I've posted that give you a list of those West Reporters. Southwestern Reporter, Supreme Court Reporter, S period CT, NE, down here on this one, take a while, guess what NE stands for? Northeastern Reporter, F2D, Federal Reporter, that's a West Reporter, unofficial. So hopefully this will help. Let's see, on the Schaefer versus Heitner, that's on your worksheet, you'll have the official, you have the non-West, and then you actually do have a third reporter here, and that's why I put this one up here. This is called the Lawyer's Edition, published by yet even another publishing company. So that's, just get used to looking at these in blocks of information. Here's a block, and that's the only one. Up here, you've got one block citation here, you got 2 here, and a second one here. On Schaefer, you've got 3. 1, 2, 3. Catching on how to read them now? Your eyes should immediately be drawn to that type of pattern, number, letters, numbers. Take a look at Bernstein. 103 NY 354. Wild guess what state that's coming from. That's right, New York. But I put this one up here for a particular reason. It's going to be, the top court in New York, but New York is unlike the other states. Their top court is not called the Supreme Court of New York. It's called the New York Court of Appeals. Their top court, their court of last resort, is called the New York Court of Appeals. That's its title. And but virtually everybody else will be called, if it's an abbreviation of a state, will be called the Texas Supreme Court or the Wisconsin Supreme Court or the New Mexico Supreme Court. Whether you pick that up from the official reporter designation or whether you pick that up in the parentheses. Okay. This last one here is a federal case, and that's a West Reporter. It's unofficial. What court? Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And then, of course, you recognize the year. So I hope this will be an additional explanation on how you read a court citation. Good luck.